Hello, my name is Kimberly Kerr, and I am a graduate student at Grand Canyon University. I'm pursuing a master's in early childhood education and early childhood special education. Today, I want to discuss how listening and speaking skills are vital for a child's overall literacy skills. Listening and speaking are the foundation of language development. These skills are essential for learning to read, write, and communicate effectively. Without strong oral language skills, children are more likely to struggle with literacy and academic success. Now, language development begins at birth. According to New Jersey's birth to age 3 learning standards, infants from birth to age months respond to sounds in their environment. They learn to recognize their own voice, and eventually they start cooing, babbling, and begin producing speech-like sounds. From ages 8 to 18 months, they start understanding simple one-word directions such as stand or sit. They can identify objects and body parts when labeled, and they can start combining words, mainly nouns. And from 18 to 36 months, toddlers can answer simple who, what, and where questions and speak in short sentences as vocabulary rapidly grows in this stage. In preschool, language-rich environments help children engage in conversations, ask and answer questions, and expand vocabulary through play, reading a story aloud, and more. Now, from kindergarten to third grade, students progress from participating in small groups to huge classroom discussions, to expressing ideas using multimedia, visual aids, and structured dialogue. And unfortunately, while it's not pleasant to talk about, there are children who experience language delays. And language delays can affect both listening and speaking. Students may struggle to follow directions, understand academic content, or they even struggle to express themselves and what they need and want clearly. This can lead to academic challenges, and when we're facing a challenge, we oftentimes get frustrated, right? So this can lead, unfortunately, to social isolation because they have trouble making connections with their peers, and that can be detrimental to a child's self-esteem too. But listening and speaking are directly linked to reading and writing. A strong spoken vocabulary supports decoding and comprehension. And classroom discussions and dialogue help students organize thoughts, make inferences, and even improve their writing when they do writing activities. Now, to support oral language development in the classroom, teachers should always model active listening, show eye contact, nodding occasionally, and responding thoughtfully. This shows students how they should listen when someone is speaking to them. There's also a couple activities too. Two that kind of piqued my interest were a turn and talk activity where students take turns speaking and listening with visual cue sticks. They're each given a popsicle stick. They're divided in pairs. One stick has a mouth emoji, one stick has an ear emoji. The mouth represents the speaker, the ear represents the listener. And after a minute, the teacher asked the listeners what the speaker was saying, and then they switch roles and wash, rinse, repeat. And the second one is partner talk. So during morning meetings, students respond to questions that the teachers ask by turning to their neighbor, and they can even use anchor charts or visual cues to display the expectations of what it takes to be a good speaker and a good listener. And it gives students an equal opportunity to speak and share ideas. And these strategies, even though they're simple, they create a safe, supportive environment where students build confidence and communication skills. And when it comes to building listening and speaking skills, collaboration is key. Working with peers helps children clarify their thoughts, listen respectfully, even if their ideas are a little different from theirs, and they build social connections. It also supports critical thinking and deeper comprehension. And you may encounter a student who may struggle with dyslexia. Now, dyslexia can definitely impact listening and speaking because students with dyslexia may need more time to process verbal instructions. They often struggle with auditory memory and may often mispronounce words despite corrections by their teachers or classmates. But there are ways to support them. Teachers can give instructions slowly and clearly, use visual aids like charts or picture schedules, and they just need to encourage them to gain the confidence to speak. Because if a child feels welcome and secure, they will be more likely to be motivated to gain those skills. And these strategies help students with dyslexia build their communication skills. And overall, from birth through early education, oral language builds the foundation for all other learning. With the right support, every child can develop strong listening and speaking skills to thrive in school and beyond. Thank you for listening, and God bless.